Now that you've considered reasons for setting policy, let's take a look at 3 sample policies and consider, are they good policies? Is the board giving effective direction? Or are they poor policies? Are they confusing or maybe even illegal? The first policy sample that you have in front of you is meeting process. It says meetings will follow parliamentary procedure requiring a mover, seconder, and vote for all decisions. Accordingly, decisions made by the board require a simple majority vote, and on meeting matters not specifically covered by bylaws or policies, Robert's Rules of Order will be followed. Generally, this is a good policy because it lets everybody on the board know that Robert's Rules of Order is the format being used, that there will be a mover and a seconder, and that there will be a vote for decisions. Some organizations operate by consensus, and if that's your wish, say so. But this is clear that this organization is not operating by consensus. Some people think that it would be really good to have a lot more detail in this meeting process policy, but it all depends on how well you've trained your board members. If your board members understand what this means, then this is adequate. Some think that you could just say, we'll follow Robert's Rules of Order, and that's okay as long as your board members are well informed in Robert's Rules of Order, but most aren't. So this is sort of an in-between. It's relatively short, but gives a general indication that there must be motions that are moved and seconded and a vote taken for an official decision. Let's move on to the negligent account policy. In the event of accounts being 180 days past due, management will engage an agent to seize from the patron any chattels to approximately equal the amount outstanding. Some people have indicated that, oh, this is great because the board is directing the staff to follow up and not let accounts receivable get beyond 180 days overdue. However, let's consider, what organization are we? Let's say we're a cooperative. Most cooperatives don't have a security agreement on the equipment and livestock on a farm or on whatever the movable assets are. Chattels are movable assets. So if the board says management will engage an agent to seize chattels, chances are the board is directing something illegal, because unless the organization has a signed security agreement, there's no legal allowance for the organization to proceed with that. And also, do you really want to wait 180 days? Hopefully the board's giving direction or management's implementing collection actions before it gets this severe. The third potential policy is about board nominations. It suggests at least 2 nominees will be selected for each position requiring an election. The 3-member nominating committee will interview each nominee at least 8 weeks prior to the election to determine which of the 5 geographic and 4 special interest groups they represent. The nominating committee will ensure that nominees are in place for each geographic region and at least 3 of the special interest groups. All nominees must meet all the criteria for qualification of board candidates. This is a real policy that was taken from a government that was wanting to have regional groups make recommendations and decisions, actually, related to a program that the government was operating. They wanted to be sure that there weren't just a few people. They wanted to ensure diversity of thought among the local group that was making decisions on the use of this government money. There were great intentions behind it, but several of the regions in that jurisdiction were unable to fill their board because the special interest groups that were named were more common in some parts of the province than they were in other parts of the province. So the intent to have diversity was great, but actually carrying this out was a nightmare. And most of the regions that were supposed to follow it found it impossible to follow. So policies need to be legal. They need to be doable. They need to be straightforward enough that the people required to carry them out can. They need to be in enough detail to inform everyone in your organization who has to work with them, but not in so much detail to get bogged down.